All right, we're going live on Facebook. We are doing this. So today we are doing mindset training for spiritual life coaches. And today we're talking about how to manifest. There we go. All right, so boom. Okay, it looks like we are on. Hi, everyone. It's Crystal Lynn, and I am doing, let's see, this is Unit 3. This is Session 3 of the Badass Butterfly Spiritual Life Coach Mindset Training Program. And today, I am going to be talking about the manifestation process. And look, I want to first apologize because I am 2 days late with this video. And there's a really good reason for this. I have what I've been using, which is the cycle of manifestation. I've been using that for a number of years. And over the last couple of years, my personal self-concept has expanded. And the result is that I've learned more about the manifestation process. And what I wanted to do was to create for you a more detailed explanation. And I wanted to create a process that you could use on a daily basis to help you with the things that you want to manifest in your life, okay? So today, as part of the mindset training, what we're going to do is actually, I'm going to give you that whole process. I'm going to take you through it. So just in general, to summarize, in this program, we started off during the very first week of the program talking about who you are today as on your path to becoming a spiritual life coach. And I suggested that you are like a caterpillar, not quite the butterfly yet. And the reason I said that was because right now, your mindset is more like a caterpillar than it is like a butterfly. And this is a good thing because you're still young, you're still blossoming, you're still learning. And that's what a caterpillar's life is all about. When you see a caterpillar in nature, all that thing does is eat. It eats and it bursts through its skin. Well, for you as a human being, what you're doing is taking in life, you're eating of life. And every time you have an experience, you grow and you burst through your skin. Now, a lot of times when we go through very difficult things, difficult challenges, and we meet big obstacles, we think that, well, we've transformed. We've gone through something difficult that transforms us into a butterfly. And that's not true. What that does is it's simply you expanding into a more robust, growing, and mature caterpillar. You need to go through those individual challenges and those obstacles so that you are expanding your being and developing as a caterpillar, because you need to be able to prepare yourself for something big, okay? Now, when you go from being a caterpillar into the cocoon and you go through metamorphosis, that's a really big deal. You have to not only transform, you have to not only go through obstacles and challenges, you have to have a total shift in your total mindset and in your total way of being. And that's the difference between being a caterpillar that eats and expands and breaks through their skin versus the caterpillar that has decided or is in that process of metamorphosis and who is actually transforming into that butterfly. All right. So that is a process. And we are going to come back to this program. Okay. So that was what we learned in the first week. Now, during the second week, we did kind of an overview and we understood that in order to be a badass butterfly spiritual life coach, you need to have what I call badassery, and what a lot of people call badassery. It's actually a word on the Googles, in the Oxford Dictionary that Google's uses. It's in there, badassery, okay? And during that second week, we learned about how you, in order to be badass, you have to do something that's formidable. And doing something formidable means that you're doing something that not everybody else is doing. Not everybody else can do it. Not everybody else has the balls to do it. Not everybody else has the resilience, the grit, the power, the wherewithal to do it. And that's what makes you a badass. So in order to be a badass butterfly spiritual life coach, you need to have badassery on the spiritual, emotional, and material levels. So this week, we're diving into the spiritual, which we've already started. And then next week, we're going to focus on the emotional. And in the last week, we're going to focus on the material. All right. So this week, we're working on the spiritual. And in our first session, okay, so that would be Unit 3, Session 1 of this week, we worked on the divine feminine and what it means to embody the divine feminine. And you learned that it's not enough just to be like, oh yeah, I'm in my feminine, I get a lot of downloads. We also learned that you need to get your downloads, you need to connect with the feminine, and you need to be able to manage the feminine, not to be destroyed by so much feminine energy, and not to be made ineffective by so much femininity, which is what many people suffer with. Okay, so we want to take that energy, that divine feminine energy, and embody it in a way that actually serves us and brings balance to our lives. In the second session of this week, we talked about pursuing your divine life purpose. We talked about what your soul came here on earth to do. And we talked about like how, in order to be badass, you cannot be hiding from your purpose. You have to be pursuing your purpose if you're going to be a badass, all right? Because you cannot be like, oh yeah, I'm a spiritual badass, but spirit is asking me to do something really challenging and I'm scared. Doesn't work. Okay. So that's the second thing. In order to be a spiritual badass, you have to embody the divine feminine and you have to pursue your divine life purpose. And today, this is our third session for this week. And the other thing you need to do in order to be a spiritual badass is you have to be able to manifest like a master. And what that means is, while the divine feminine is giving you all these great ideas and telling you all these wonderful things that you need to do and how you can help people, yeah, you need to be able to manifest that shit, okay? It's not enough that you say, oh yeah, spirit wants me to do this, and you don't do anything about it. You can't manifest, oh yeah, spirit is giving me the downloads for a really good book, but you cannot figure out how to sit your ass down and write that book. Yeah, don't go bragging. You don't deserve to be bragging. You need to be bragging after you actually write the book, okay? Spirit gives everybody a lot of good inspiration. If you are not doing the work to make that inspiration real, don't go bragging, okay? Just saying, okay? Crystalline is full of tough love. I'm also just really tired of hearing people say, oh yeah, the divine feminine, I'm all over it, and taking no responsibility, doing nothing but talking, not standing for it anymore. So please know that I'm going to be calling you out on that stuff. I call myself out on it. That's why I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, because you ain't gonna call me out on, you're not gonna call me out. I'm gonna do my work. And that's what I be doing every single day. And that's my job. My job is to help you do what you need to do every single day. One of the ways I help you do that is I'll call you out on it, but I'll also give you some tools so that you can actually rise to the occasion. Because a lot of times, one of the biggest reason people don't follow through with things is because they don't know how. They don't know the steps to take. They get overwhelmed. And so this is why I've created this program, so that you can start getting your mindset really clear and aligned with what you need to have and who you need to be in order to be a spiritual life coach of any kind, not just a badass butterfly spiritual life coach. So let me just very quickly, I'm going to just make sure that I have everything set up here. I do. So I have the session set up and I have the worksheet set up, and I think I can close all of these extra windows for right now. Okay, so I have for you, in the curriculum, here we go, share screen. So in the curriculum, you're going to find in today's curriculum, okay, this is Manifesting Like a Master, and you are going to find that there are a number. So everything looks normal here, except there's a new addition, right? So you know that you have the workbook for this week, which you have probably already downloaded because we're at session 3 and you need the workbook from session 1. So anyway, you probably have that workbook already downloaded. Well, today, because I have this new process, what I did was I actually created a separate worksheet for manifesting. All right. And you will see that here. So when you go to the curriculum, you will see there is a link here to download the Badass Butterfly Manifestation Process. It is a PDF that you can write in. However, remember, please, that if you write in this, if you close your browser, you're going to lose your work. So make sure you download it first and then open it and then write in it here so that you save it on your computer. Okay, and if you do decide that you're going to save it, do it in your browser, make sure you actually save it. You don't just close it. All right. So that's just my little teaching for the session for that technology stuff, okay? So in the curriculum for today, in today's lesson, you're going to see a little write-up about the program, about what we're doing today, just talking about what it means to be a master manifester. And then, as usual, you will see your home fun down here. And in the workbook, let me actually just go to the workbook really quick because I realize I did not open that. So for the workbook this week, as usual, there is an article. Here we go. This is the workbook. All right, so here is the article for you to read through. And this is just to help you understand what manifestation means and what it means for you as a life coach and how you can use it as a life coach. All right. And after that, you will find there are some spaces for you to write any notes you have and to do anything you want to with those spaces. Normally in the curriculum, I would have some things for you to do, but instead, I mean, questions, I would have questions for you, but instead I have this different worksheet. All right. So for the worksheet, So please read the article, okay, just so you educate yourself about the process of manifesting, and then go into the actual worksheet itself, all right? And what I'm going to do today is basically teach you this process. Now, I have the process written down for you here, all right? And I also, it says the exact same thing here in the lesson that it says in the actual worksheet itself. It's just that everything is broken down with space for you to be able to write individually, all right? So you have the notes here so that you can see the notes here, but they are also written in the worksheet, okay? Now, boom. Okay, so let me just finish telling you what the home fun is. So for the home fun, you need to download the worksheet, and then I want you to study, learn, and apply this manifestation process to your life, to your desires, all right? And what I've put here also is an optional exercise, which is basically to take something that you want to manifest and take it through the manifestation process. And if you can do something that you want to manifest within the next couple of weeks, that would be really, really great. Because then, you know, if you have questions, I'll be here to be able to help you with the process. All right. But please, when you choose your thing, if you're going to do this, whatever you choose, make sure that it's actually realistic for you to manifest it in 2 weeks. You know, I want you to have a successful, I want you to feel what it feels like to go through the manifestation process. And I want you to have success. I don't want you to set your sights on something big and that's really far out there for this 2-week process. Now, for your real life, you know, you would want to really do this with something that is really big. Like you would want to do it for something that it might take you a year to manifest. And this is going to, that would let, you know, that would push you really out of your comfort zone. It would push you into big growth. And you would really feel the benefits of this process as it grows you, as opposed to just giving you something, right? Because that's really what manifestation is all about. It's the manifestation of that thing that you desire, but really manifestation is about giving birth to yourself. So in order to have that thing that you desire, let's say that you desire a retreat center, right? A retreat center where you can help people heal and transform their lives. Well, in order for you to manifest that, you have to manifest within yourself the woman who creates that, right? The woman who runs that, the woman who designs that, the woman who owns that, okay? So the manifestation process is not really just about bringing things, you know, bringing material things into the world. It is, but first the process actually works on you, and then you bring that thing into the world, okay? So that's what we're going to tuck into right now. So let's do just that, okay? So what I'm going to do right now is take you through what's here and what's on the worksheet, because what's on the worksheet is what's there. So it's the exact same thing, all right? But I'm going to take it through you here just because this is where I think you probably will end up doing this. So the first thing in the manifestation process is to know what it is that you desire. So look, you have to make a decision, okay? There are a lot of things that you desire, but you can't work on everything all at once. You can work on a few different things at once, but really you need to focus your energy on one primary thing and then let the other things come about as a result of you moving yourself forward with this one particular thing. This is the one thing that you want to work on with the manifestation process. Okay, and it's not to say you won't be doing other things or achieving other things, Of course you will be, but when you're working through the manifestation process, you kind of want to just focus on one thing, and you'll see that just focusing on that one thing covers a lot of ground, and it's going to be, it's a lot to it. So I'm going to speed through this actually, because there is a lot to cover here. So the first thing you do is to decide what it is you want, and then you got to write it down. Now, the next thing is to accept that this is the thing that you are going to do. And acceptance is really important, because what you'll notice is that you might decide I'm going to do this thing. And then a couple weeks later, you kind of changed your mind. You're like, oh, this is not really working. And I'm not, this is more work than I thought. And it's not going fast enough. And I don't feel good enough with it. Yeah, no, don't give yourself that kind of permission to jump out. So, and also understanding that when you manifest, you need to build momentum. You need to first align yourself with your thing and then build momentum. So once you decide what it is you want, you know what it is you want, then you accept that thing, you're aligning yourself with that thing, and then you're moving toward that thing. What you have to do once you start moving is keep moving. You want to keep moving, and you want to keep the ball rolling. So you must flow. You must keep the ball rolling forward. All right. And so when you think, oh, this is taking too long, or this is too hard, or this is not what I expected, or when are the results going to come? What that's doing is actually slowing down your momentum. You have momentum going forward, but then your mind comes in, it's like, oh, I don't know, this isn't working. That's like pulling back. Okay. That is why most people don't actually have success in manifesting, because they don't keep their energy, their thoughts, their emotions all moving forward. They respond to their mind, they respond to doubt, they respond to everybody else's interpretation of what they're seeing, and that creates a problem with your mind, and it creates a problem with your energy. So acceptance is a really important part of the manifestation process, accepting that this is the thing I desire, and this is the thing that I'm going to do. So what you have to do is write down your statement of acceptance. Now, the next thing that you're going to need to do is to write down your why. So why are you doing this thing? Why do you desire this thing? Your why is going to help you when you start getting doubtful, or when you start getting unclear about things. Your reasons why you're doing it will help to stoke the fire of your passion and your inspiration. So be sure to write down your why. Okay, and keep in mind also, let's say that you have something and it's going to take you a year to manifest it. Okay, one of the things that's going to happen is you are going to need to come back to this worksheet and to keep adding to your why, to keep adding to your statement of acceptance, to keep evolving your statement of acceptance, to keep evolving your why and the other parts on this form. The reason that's important is, again, you need to keep your momentum up, but also it's so easy to lose track and to lose sight of the original vision that you had. So by coming back to this form and reworking, re-adding, finding new reasons to be excited, discovering reasons that you didn't know why. Like you're like, oh, I like it because of this. And then like later you're like, oh my God, this is giving me so much more. You want to keep adding that to your worksheets or to the work that you're doing around the manifestation process, because that is going to help increase your momentum, and it's going to make sure, it's going to like solidify your alignment. Okay, so make sure that when you are doing this work, you keep coming back and revisiting and refueling and re-energizing yourself around these ideas. Okay. So I accept what I desire, and then I know why I'm doing this. So this is where you write down your reason why. The next thing is to take responsibility for your desire. So that can be on a few different levels. So what does it mean for you to take responsibility for the thing that you desire? So for example, if I desire a retreat center, all right, the responsibility for that retreat center is, from what I can feel already, it feels pretty big. The first thing that it's coming to my mind, okay, and it doesn't, you need to feel into what's coming up for you around your desire, okay? But for me, the responsibility that I have is to the land on this retreat center that I'm building on. So the first thing I'm thinking about is like, how do I do this in an ecologically friendly way that supports the landscape, that also supports the community? I'm also thinking, how can I support the people that are going to be coming to me? What types of people are going to be coming to me to have healing at this retreat center? What is their financial situation? What are the needs they have for their own healing, right? So all these things are coming to mind, and I would just write those things down there. And then of course, there's responsibility of making sure that I have the resources I need in order to purchase the land, in order to purchase the, to hire the help that's going to be working on this place for me, the management team. So there's a responsibility to financial stability, right? So that's the kind of thing that you need to put here under this particular section, all right? Write out your responsibility for your desire. The next section is to listen to your inner wisdom and your spiritual guidance team so that you can take action on what it is you desire. So right now it's you, and you have your inner wisdom and your spiritual guidance team. So what I want you to do in this particular space is to have a conversation with your inner wisdom and your spiritual guidance team and just see what they say. I don't know what they're going to say. When I tune into my spirit guides, let me just take a card. I'm going to tune into my spirit guides about my retreat center. And the feedback that I'm getting that I need to look at right now is the waiting game, right? And so this is the card. Sorry, there's a glare here. There. Oh, okay, whatever. Anyway, it shows an hourglass, and inside the hourglass is a tree that's developing roots. Okay, so there's a blossoming tree in the top and then a little root structure at the bottom. And I see him, it looks like there's a man walking around these time kind of ellipses. And basically this card to me is saying that this is a process. I've planted seeds, I'm nurturing a lot of different things, and things are moving forward. So I would write that message in here. I would put, I pulled the two of wands from such and such a deck and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so write that in. That's the feedback from my spiritual guidance team. By the way, thank you, spiritual guidance team. That's a wonderful message for me. It feels just right. Thank you. Okay, so next section is, what is the action plan? What do I need to do to manifest my desires? So look, you all have a responsibility. This is where we combine the divine feminine with the divine masculine, right? So the divine feminine gives me the idea of a retreat center where I'm going to be doing healing services, and there's going to be, you know, a beautiful garden, and it's organic, and there's beautiful vistas, and there are people, and they're in their robes, and there's music, and it's beautiful. We're having a great experience, and there's good food. We are healing together. Oh, that's the divine feminine. And then the divine masculine says, yeah, how are we going to do that? What are we going to do? Well, the first thing I need to do is number one, boom, I need to work on the plan, the layout. So I'd write that in here, business plan. Oh, so I go in here, business plan, and then I go over here and say, I need to talk to this real estate broker and go check out properties in Italy. And then I go over here and I say, and then I need to do this, and then I need to do that, blah, blah, blah. All right. So you write down the plan of action, write out everything you need to do to manifest your desire, and organize it, adding timelines and milestones. Okay. So in my humble opinion, I would use Airtable in addition to this, right? Because I'd write it out energetically here, spiritually, I'd think about it, but then I'd go into my database and really create real to-do lists with contacts and dates, times, all that stuff, okay? So boom, this is a good place to start. Now, I follow through with the action plan. Okay, so this is where things get tough for people because, when you're writing down the action plan, it seems overwhelming. And then you've got all these things to do and it feels overwhelming. All right, don't be all intimidated, man. Just break it down into small steps and then follow through. And things that you don't know how to do, ask somebody, go get help. All right. So, here I say, take a moment to visualize yourself following through and doing the steps you need to make your dream real. Okay, so that's one part of this process. So you can see yourself visiting the Small Business Association so that you can get some support from the counselors and advisors there. I can see myself, working on my business plan, making phone calls. I can see myself composing emails and inviting people in to visit. I can see myself doing the menu of services and setting up, I can see myself with the investment bankers and putting together the proposal. I can see all those things. That's what you want to do. And I have a space here, even though I'm saying this as a visual thing, I have space here for you to write down anything that comes up, particularly any shadows or resistances that come up. Because, as you're doing big things, it's totally normal for resistance to come up. That's a part of the process. We don't have to be afraid just because, there's resistance. We just have to know how to manage our resistance, and we need a plan in place in order to do that. So when I get scared, what am I going to do? You could write that down. This is how you're going to follow through with the action plan. Okay. So the next section is I identify the vibration, mindset, and feeling nature of my future self who has achieved the desired outcome and obtained her goals. So what you want to do is use your imagination and your intuition, and you want to actually think about the future self of you, your future self, who has actually achieved this goal. So so I see myself on the retreat center, at the retreat center. I see this so very clearly. It is so clear. What I see is a big kind of ochre colored building. It's a beautiful farmhouse, and there are big windows because I love big windows, but it's got a classic Italian styling, but big windows. There's a gravel drive and there are these big old terracotta pots. And I am there, and I'm wearing my white suit. I'm just wearing white. Okay. And I'm looking really welcoming, like, hey, I'm so glad you've come. I am so excited that you're here, right? And at any moment, you're going to see me pull out a bottle of champagne and a couple of glasses, and I'm going to be like, hey, just put your bags down right there and come on and sit down. Let's just sit here. We'll carry the bags up later. Let's just take a load off. You've been traveling to get here. I'm so glad you made it. I see that, right? I see that. Okay. So what you have to do now is write down some initial impressions about her. And the first things I want you to think about is what's the mindset of your future self? So how is her mind geared? What is she focusing on most of the time? Like, what's the vibration of her mind? What is the quality? That's what I want to say. What is the quality of her mind? Okay. Then the second part of this is, what is the quality of her vibration? And when I see my future self, I see joy, I see joy, confidence, but what I see more than anything is a knowing of her place. It's as if she is a queen. And if you've watched The Crown, you would know that the queen doesn't doubt her queen status. Like, there's no confusion. There is no confusion. She doesn't think that she doesn't belong. She knows that she belongs. And that's the quality of my future self that I see in front of her farmhouse. Like, yes, like, duh. Oh, it's wonderful. So you want to write all that down. What are your first impressions of your future self? And what is her mindset? What is her vibration? Okay. Next section, I now conjure the vibration of my future self who has attained my desires. Okay. So in this situation, this is when you're going to now look at your current self. All right. You got to look at where you are right now. You need to look at your future self and say, how do I get there? What is she doing? So my future self is in a place where she's like, yeah, of course I'm here. And I have to bring in that feeling of course I'm here. This is what I've done. This is where I create. So as I look at my place right now, and you all know, I just moved into my new apartment here, and I've gotten a lot of stuff undone. You see all those boxes back there? Yeah, they're empty. They're just waiting for me now to break them down. That's what I will be doing this weekend. It's not a lot. It's just like 20 boxes, but I got to break them down and make sure that they all fit in the recycling bin, because that's well, they're not going to fit in the recycling bin. Okay. But I got to make sure they're neat so that the guys, when they come and take them, it'll be all, easy and clean and neat for them. Anyway, so when I look at myself here in Neuilly, it's funny because I'll say, people will say, well, where do you live in Paris? And I'll say like, oh, I live in Neuilly. And they'll go, oh, she. And then they're like, how much do you pay for your rent? And I'm like, does it matter? Like, does it matter? Like, what is that? So there's this kind of thing that people have. They know their self-image is what they create, right? And this is your challenge. Your self-image is what you create for yourself. And when you look at your circumstances, when you look at your situation, when you look at your environment, you are seeing the outpicturing of your self-image. So when you look around, like I look around and I do see a lot of wealth and luxury, and I see a lot of attention also, though, most importantly, I see attention to detail. I see people who take a lot of pride in how they dress themselves, how they keep their spaces, how they carry themselves, how their comportment, how they walk, how they talk, their commitment to education, their commitment to civil service and to governmental policy, like understanding what's happening in the world around them. That's where I have put myself, because that's where I relate. I relate to all those things. I value all of those things. And this is where it's like with the queen. Of course, I'm the queen. Of course, I'm in Neuilly. Where else would I be? So when you are working with your future self, your job is to understand, what is it that your future self is knowing? Where have they put themselves in the world? And where are you currently? There's probably some kind of a gap, and that's okay. That's the whole point of doing this. We want there to be a gap between us and our future self for the moment, because the gap is how we grow. So my future self has a knowing of her what she's created in Italy in her farmhouse, right? She's put together a business plan. She's gathered her finances and her resources. She's dealt with the Italian bureaucracy and the government to get even permission to plan and create this retreat center that she wants to build in Italy. She's done all that, okay? So no wonder she looks like a smug little, no wonder she's the queen, okay? No wonder, because she's done all the work, all right? From where I am, I cannot embody that from where I am. I gotta make my way up there, okay? But the way I'm gonna make my way up there is by understanding the mindset that she has and bringing that into me now, right? In order for her to have gotten where she is today, for her in the future, in order for her to have gotten there, she had to have assumed some things about herself. Number one, she had to assume that she could do it. She had to assume that she would follow through. She had to assume that she had the tenacity, the grit, the resilience. She had to assume she had the intelligence. She had to assume that the universe would support her, right? I have to take on all those assumptions and live them today. So I cannot get to her, to where she is, if I think, oh, the universe is not going to help me. Oh, the Italian government, that's not going to support me. That's going to be really hard. Getting bureaucracy, I can't do that. That's hard. Okay. I cannot be in that mindset and that way of thinking and in those emotions and think that I'm going to get to where she is. I cannot. It won't work. It will never happen. Okay. I cannot be a vibrational match to her if I'm down here weeping and moaning and acting like a victim. Okay. That is why we are doing this exercise, so that you can see the difference between where you are today and where you need to be in order to achieve the things that you want to achieve, okay? So what I want you to do is to, in this section, I want you to work on creating that vibration in yourself, understanding, first of all, what vibration she's holding, what her mindset is, where her emotions are, and then you working to embody that all the time, because the sooner you start walking who she is today, the faster your momentum is going to build to take you directly to where she is. So first you become her, you become the woman she is, and then the farmhouse will come through that. Okay, but you cannot get to the farmhouse without becoming that woman. You cannot get to the desired outcome without becoming the woman first. You don't get the outcome and then become the woman. You have to be the woman, and then the outcome will come from who you are. I hope that makes sense. Okay. All right. Boom. Next thing. I clearly express what I desire. So now that you've done all this work to understand what it is you desire, you now need to do some really good energetic work to sharpen your connection to the thing that you actually desire, okay? You have to articulate what it is you want. So I need you to, in this section, write down what it is that you need. And I've given you a little extra space here, just because you might want to do a little bit of workshopping to make it really clear. So you can use the space and just write out your sentence. Like, if you know what it is you desire, fine. But if what you desire is a little bit more complex or robust, then you might want to write that out here. So for example, I would probably write out, like, I desire a retreat center in Fiesole, Italy, on 10 hectares of land that's all fenced in so that my dog can run free and safe. Blah, 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 with vineyards and with an organic gardener, organic garden, and we do the food. I would write a lot here because I've got a lot to say. Okay, just in case you were wondering. Yes, I have a lot to say. So put as much in here as you want, okay? And just get really, really clear about what it is you desire and write it down, okay? And please be specific, because that's going to help the universe know what it is you're talking about. Also, when you get specific, you're taking responsibility. Now, you can get specific like this. You can say, I desire this beautiful Italian farmhouse with um, ochre walls, right? And in your heart, you can be like, I like ochre. I'm not wedded to ochre. Like, you know, like, sorry, let me say this differently. I'm not saying this right. Ignore what I just said, please. If I had an editor, I'd edit that out, because I don't want you to think that. Here's what I really want to say. I want to say, be specific about the things you know, and don't second guess yourself, and don't accept anything less than what you know. Things that you don't know about, like, for example, is there going to be a pond on my property? I don't know. I don't care. So I'm indifferent to the pond. Yeah. So just allow yourself to be specific, but don't worry about focusing too much on too many details that you don't know the answer to. Just focus on the things that you love. That's what I want. That's the ultimate point. Focus on the things that you love, but don't get bogged down in the details. And the reason I'm saying that is because very often, I've seen it in myself, but I've seen it in other people as well. Like, many other people will start thinking about the details, and then they'll be like, oh, and then they'll be like pulling away from their goal, like, okay, this is a lot to think about. Don't do that. Just be specific about the things you know, and say to the universe, hey, we'll figure out all that other stuff in due time, okay, or in divine time. That works. All right, cool. Clearly express what you desire, being specific, and letting the universe handle all the details that you don't feel like you want to deal with right now. All right. Now, I visualize myself with my desired outcome. So this is, again, a moment for you to just visualize and to relax and to feel what it is you feel, okay? I want you to take the time to actually feel into the great feelings, like using all your senses. So as I'm imagining my farmhouse, I'm inhaling and smelling these, I'm smelling the night blooming jasmine. I'm smelling these roses that are right outside the window. I'm smelling the food cooking on the pot. I've got this outdoor fireplace, and I can smell the wood burning in that. I can smell the eucalyptus trees, and I can feel the rough gravel beneath my Birkenstocks. Yes, I'm wearing Birkenstocks. I don't even care. It's my farmhouse. I'm wearing Birkenstocks. Yes, I can feel the sun, okay, and I can hear the hum of the bees in the trees, okay? That's what you want. And when your visualizations bring a smile to your face, like I'm smiling right now, you know you're doing it right. When you feel an allergic reaction, like hay fever, in response to all the flowers and the pollen that's in the air, that's a good response. All right, that's what you want, because that means you are in it, you're feeling it, and the universe is like, oh, that's what she wants. Not the hay fever, but that big old smile, and those big red roses, and all the other stuff, and the big beautiful butterflies, and the gravel road, and all that. Yes, okay. So visualize your desired outcome. Next thing is to go back to your future self, okay? So now you have this idea of what you want. You see the farmhouse, you see yourself there, okay? You now need to go back and talk to your future self. So you need to I've given you some questions to ask, to note, and I want you to write it down. Who is your future self? How does she carry herself? what does she do every day? Like, what are her habits? What are the duties that she follows through with? Then write down, how do I need to change my current now to become her? What do I need to do today to become her? And then here's the hardest question. What am I willing to do to be her today? Right? So look, my future self doesn't compulsively eat. What does that have to do with the retreat center? It doesn't have anything to do with the retreat center directly, but it does have to do with the woman who keeps her promises to herself and doesn't hurt herself. So my future self does not do anything to hurt herself, doesn't do anything to hurt her physical body. She doesn't do anything to hurt her digestion. She doesn't do anything that's going to mess with her sleep. She doesn't do anything that's going to cause her to be mad at herself, like, oh, you ate that whole chocolate cake. Like, she doesn't do things that would cause shame in herself. Okay, so for me today, what I have to be willing to do to be her is to not compulsively eat. Like, I can't do the things that would cause me shame because she's someone who doesn't do things that causes herself shame, right? She manages her emotions. She's not an excessive person, et cetera, et cetera. So I need to learn about who she is and then write down what I can do to be her as soon as possible. All right. And again, the point is that in order to manifest the thing that she has, you have to be the woman she is. And she's going to reveal herself to you. Your future self might compulsively eat because she doesn't have the same thing going on that me and my future self has. Okay. So just understand, I'm not saying that your future self can't compulsively eat and you can't. It's that my future self is like, you don't look good in that compulsive eating stuff. I don't do that anymore. Therefore I don't do that anymore. Okay, that's what I work on every day. And it's working. All right. Next thing, I embrace my future self's feeling, signature, and vibration. So this is just a place for you to pep talk yourself and to understand what you need to do. And you probably need to come back here every single day. So you've already covered all this in the previous steps, okay? But basically every day when you get up, you have to remember who you are becoming, and you have to make decisions to become her. You have to do the things to become her. This is a place for you to remember who it is you're becoming and how you're going to do it, okay? Next thing, I commit to practice being her and feeling the way that she feels. So this again is about helping you find that thing inside yourself. This is your commitment for the day or for the week, however you want to do it. And this is where you're going to write down any obstacles or challenges that might come up for you. But this is about you honing in on your commitment and making that commitment so that you can actually be the person and get yourself there. Okay. So again, in this section, it's where you are going to write out your commitment of what it is you want to do to be your future self just for today. Okay, you can copy out multiple copies of this, print out multiple copies of this page if you want to, or duplicate this page so that you can write on this every day if you need to, or every couple of days. I basically sit down with my practice and look at it every day. And then I take a little break, and then I'll go back after a week and go and revisit again, put more energy into it. But I keep reminding myself of where I'm going. This becomes a tool that I use to help me stay on track, again, staying in alignment and keeping my momentum moving forward toward the thing that I desire. Okay. All right. Now, this is the last section of the of the process. So in this section, we are looking at the tarot cards, and there is one card in particular that I want you to think about if you know this. If not, don't worry about it. But it's the Magician. So the Magician in tarot is a person who is really, really good at manifesting. The Magician is the master manifester. And the Magician knows how to work with the earth, the elements of life to manifest. And when you look at the tarot card, you'll see that he has a representation of the four suits. So he has a sword, he has a wand, a sword, a cup, and a pentacle. And that represents, the mind represents, the wands represent energy, the sword represents thought, the cups represent emotion, and the pentacles represents earth and matter resources, okay? So what I've done is to create some affirmations that can go along with this, this process. Now, as you are doing this process, you might wonder, well, how do I use these affirmations, okay? And I kind of want you to use them in any way that feels good. I personally, in the morning when I'm doing my morning practice, at the end of my practice, I will literally come here and I will think, okay, I've gone through, I've revisited my, my goal and my desire. I know what my action plan is for the day. And then I just breathe through these affirmations. I will achieve my goal. I'm the leader of my energy. You know, I focus on my energy. Who am I as an energetic being? Okay, and I say these affirmations. Then I go to my mind. Here I am in my mind. What is my mindset? And then I use these affirmations to get my mindset on track to remind me of who I am, okay? And to know that I have a responsibility to my mind. This is for the cups. So this is about understanding my feeling nature and my emotions. So I just breathe into my feelings, my emotions, and I, again, affirm all of these things. And then the pentacles, I take action to achieve my goal. These are the physical actions and resources and things that have to happen in the material world, okay? So these are affirmations for the material world. And then the very last step of this process is to allow the universe to bring your desires to you. And just note down any resistance that you have, any fears, any doubts, note it down, and then do your shadow work, get some help from me, do whatever you need to stay on track over the course of time as you are creating this manifestation, as you're bringing forth your goal or the desire that you want to manifest. All right, so I'm done, and got it done in under an hour. I'm impressed, yay. So I'm gonna go ahead and sign off, get this uploaded for you, and I hope you enjoy. If you have any questions, come and send me a message, or just come and post in the League of Badass Butterflies Facebook group, all right? Okay, that's it, we did it. Thanks so much for joining. And actually I should double check and see if there's anyone on Facebook watching right now. So I see I've got a few viewers, and Jessica Louise has given me a heart. Thanks, Jessica. I don't know if you're still here. It's Saturday, so you probably are dealing with the babies. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoy this manifestation process. It's a really powerful thing. It's super powerful. Okay. All right. We'll talk to you soon, and we'll see you next week for emotional badassery. All right. Bye for now, everybody. Bye.